Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. We are all about tips, tricks, news and information, and we have it all for you this week. Now on with the show.
I am joined, as ever, by the optimistic opulent Titan, Parody, and the oppressively opulent Hunter, Respawn. We've got to unmute him, apparently. Now, where are you today, Respawn?
That's fine.
Canada.
Okay.
We come to you live. We have operators standing by to take all of your Destiny calls and questions. Don't mute the phones now. Come on now.
Oh, no, that was good fun.
It ruins the joke.
It sounds like he's running a call centre from his home.
Last I heard, he was up near Canada somewhere.
That's correct. You guys forget I built 911, so I'm here in the 911 dispatch center trying to get ready to go.
That is so cool.
I don't forget. I just assume you don't do anything with your days, that's all.
No, we just assume that you're around ready to work and do a podcast. Like us. We don't work. We just do podcasts.
No, not really.
So should we start off? Because I'm guessing that he'll interrupt when he wants to interrupt.
Why not?
I'm hoping he's listening, sort of.
I'm just looking through the thing too, because I was looking. I read the 12 last night and was looking at it and seeing if they had released any other stuff that they, didn't tell us about. Here's the 12, here's the 12. Oh, and here's 6 other, pages we didn't tell you about. Shh, those are secrets.
Yeah.
Can't have those yet.
I'll tell you what, I'll do the first bit and then you take us through the dates. And then we're kind of...
But we already did the dates. We told the good people.
I know, but we've got to tell them again. There's good dates.
Now we can tell them again, and then tell them a third time, and then tell them for the 9th time, and then we'll tell them that we told them. I like it.
Okie dokie. This week at Bungie, apparently they're revealing Season of Opulence on the, what was it? It was the 4th of June again? It was
the 4th of June. June 4th, the 4th of June. 6446, depending how you write it.
I think we went over that. But just in case people weren't aware, 4th of June, Season of Opulence goes live at the weekly reset. So, Bungie say, what began as a notion of secrets has evolved into a treasure hunt. On the journey of our creative process, we arrive at a new experience that is more about discovery than mystery. Callus has issued an imperial summons, and your invitation to plunder the vaults aboard his Leviathan has arrived. Season of Opulence does have secrets for you to discover. Destiny always does. So, with this, I'm guessing that at some point they've changed tack on how the game evolved, and it may have been something that happened in the last season with the community feedback, or it could have been something that happened with Season of the Forge with community feedback, because we were always led to believe that it was a season of mystery, and there was always going to be these mysteries, and these big mysteries were going to unravel, and we're going to be going on these secret quests and things. And like they were saying, yes, there's always these mysteries and these quests in Destiny, like we had with like the 0 hour that's just come up. But I feel that they've kind of suddenly had to change tactic, and they're only telling us a week before because they, again, probably didn't want uproar about it. I mean, what do you think?
Well, I think it's sort of the same thing. They had a plan laid out for Drifter as well, and then sort of, changed that up as the season went, or just as we got closer to that season. So I'm wondering if maybe some of the mysteries and secrets they've rolled out to us already, or maybe there's, they're not talking about them, but they're still there. They've got more stuff hidden for us. But we were sort of talking like before the show. This is sort of the end, not the end of D2, but this is the the final season of the season in the annual pass, and this is sort of where they have their big blowout event. We get our moments of triumph at the end and our Solstice of Heroes events. So this is going to be the big. It sort of makes sense for this to be a big loot grab.
Yeah.
Instead of a lot of mystery. And again, not that there won't be mystery and stuff. I mean, we are going back to the Leviathan, and God knows if you spent any time roaming around the underbelly, there's plenty of secrets and mystery there, such as who's leading us, where's the map, and why have we agreed to this. But there's got to be secrets under there as well. So, anytime you step foot into the Leviathan, there's something waiting for you. And we have to wait for someone to make a video to tell us how to do it.
I mean, yeah, it's a good point that you made there, that the Season of the Drifter changed from Joker's Wild, didn't it? Very subtly, they went, "Oh, it's not this, it's this," and they've done again what they did with that season. They're suddenly changing it. It's not about mystery; it's more about you can go and plunder a vault. Okay, here's some stuff for you. It still sounds like it's going to be really good fun. Just less mystery than what we were originally led to presume was there.
Yeah, it should be all about the loot. If you want loot, we've got the loot for you. So starting June 4th, we're going to have some loot. So since we've talked about June 4th, we briefly mentioned our calendar last week, but let's go over it again real quick since Bungie is, giving us a full calendar again like they did with the last season of what to expect and when. So we've got on June 4th, we've got our Crown of Sorrow raid event dropping, which remember, you have to go do the quest in order to do the raid. Go do your quest first whenever that drops. Get through that, then you'll be raid ready, or at least, the game will deem you raid ready. No one's truly raid ready. Then also on June 4th, we're getting our Menagerie event, which is that, the 6-person match-made activity we've been teased by and has been on the roadmap for a while. So that's our event where you're going to get your chalice and upgrade that, and then run around the Leviathan, looting all the vaults, which we'll talk about shortly here. And then on June 11th, right after that, we're going to have a new Menagerie boss, and the Truth quest will come back. So the Truth from Destiny 1 was an exotic rocket launcher with really, really nice tracking on it. As in, you could be Babe Ruth calling your shot.
That stuff will come out at a 90-degree angle and still get you.
There you go. It has, I believe they called it aggressive tracking, and calling that aggressive tracking is like calling Respawn a kind and gentle, sweet human being. It's not quite the same thing.
Wait. Something about that doesn't feel right. I feel like I should be insulted, but I don't know why. So
it feels right. Just let it go. And then the week after that, on June 18th, we're getting a new Menagerie boss again, and then we're getting an Iron Banner quest. So they haven't gone into any detail yet, but I knew the moment that I read Iron Banner quest, Night Demon would be all over that, Mr. 2,500 kills and his Iron Burden. So again, we're getting 3 Menagerie bosses, it looks like, because then on June 25th, we're getting the Menagerie Heroic mode. So we've got a couple of Menagerie bosses, which I assume will be a rotating thing, and then we've got our Heroic mode to make the Menagerie even harder. Then July 2nd, we get our Lumina quest, which we've been, as we speculated, because there's that one gun in all of our bejeweled and decked out weapons of opulence that looks very plain and very, not very opulent. But that might be the one that, you get it like the Husk of the Pit as a plain hand cannon, then you do some things to upgrade it into this Lumina weapon. It looks like a weapon of sorrow or maybe a weapon of hope.
Yeah.
So July 2nd, we'll get to figure out what that is.
I'll just explain what Husk of the Pit was for anybody that's just joined in Destiny 2. So in Destiny 1, there was a grey-looking auto rifle that was very hive orientated, and it was a very fast-firing, very uncontrollable weapon. And it dropped, I believe, around the time that we had Crota. Or was it the?
Yeah, it was an auto rifle. They added it in the Dark Below expansion.
That was it.
And you get it from killing the Blade of Crota.
It was extremely rare drop. And people were just dismantling it and getting rid of it and didn't think anything of it. But what it actually turned out to be is part of a quest to make a weapon into this exotic weapon. So it went from the Husk of the Pit, and if you made, I think it was 200 kills of hive or something like that, you had to get, was it precision shots with it? It was something ridiculous that you had to do with this weapon. And it upgraded into the Aeon's Ally, which was a legendary version of this weapon. It just kind of transformed into this weapon. You then had to defeat Crota in the raid and hope and pray that this orb called the Crux of Crota dropped. And if you got this Crux of Crota to drop, it would then be able to be put into the Aeon's Ally, and it would transform it into the Necrochasm.
Yep,
that's correct.
Which was an exotic auto rifle, really fast firing. And I believe the perk on it was if you got headshots kills with it, you would create a thrall explosion, wouldn't you? And it would even give you the sound of the thrall explosion, even on Guardians that you were killing in the Crucible. Really good fun. And towards the end of Destiny, they kind of buffed it even more.
That was like the fastest firing gun in Destiny 1 at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it was, because it was really uncontrollable. And that's why the perk was so ridiculous, because if you got the headshot, it would explode. But getting that headshot with a weapon that was all over the damn map was a little difficult.
it was a similar archetype to Doctrine of Passing, which was a Trials auto rifle, which was really fast firing, and it suddenly found a niche in PvP and became really top of the meta, and everybody wanted it. And then people suddenly found that, oh, this necrochasm is very similar. You know, if you could control that recoil on it, it was a beast to use. So that's what we're speculating that this Luminar quest is. This grey hand cannon that's in the photographs for in amongst all those bejeweled and bejazzled other weapons is this just plain hand cannon. And we think that this is going to have to be upgraded in some way to become, I think it's the Rose hand cannon. So
Yeah,
hopefully,
the Rose or the
hopefully
Lumina,
we're right.
Whatever they're calling it this season.
Yeah. Sorry,
Well, if
Verity.
you look at it, that makes sense because if you look at the way the gun is made, it actually looks like a rose is blooming starting from the grip all the way to the end of the weapon. It looks like rose petals, right?
Yeah, it's got the
So I
thorns
think
down the
that's
side,
actually what's
hasn't
going
it?
on. Yeah, it's got the thorns, but it's also made out of rose petals.
All right, so July 2nd, that's when that quest kicks off for the Lumina, which, maybe a great, it may not be. We'll see. And then July 9th, we're going to get the Tribute Hall and Moments of Triumph. So the Moments of Triumph event, for those who haven't been around in former Destinies and other seasons, is basically you'll get a nice little book to finish. And it'll be a whole bunch of things, completed raids, do things in Vanguard, do things with Crucible. Bungie will basically pick out a whole bunch of things similar to Triumphs that they're saying, hey, once you do these things, we'll give you rewards of weapons or armor or gear, or, most of it's just sort of, it's a higher light level at the time, but it has never really gone on to be anything useful in the next season or the next game or anything. So it's, and it's nice that the Moments of Triumph is sort of your big book you sort of get to look back on of, like your yearbook of Destiny. I don't know how to put it in I don't know if that's what the best way to describe it, but it's like you don't have to go do things after the book comes out. If you've already completed them, you get this Moments of Triumph book, and you say, okay, I've done this one, this one, this one, this one, and you might be halfway there or completely done basically with the stuff they want you to do. So that'll come with our Tribute Hall July 9th, and July 30th we get our Solstice of Heroes event, which looks like we're going to have some pretty armor again, and we're going to see what that turns into. Maybe we'll be going back to the forest because the picture they have has what looks like little wings and feathers or something on these Guardians. So we'll probably be getting some more gear that we can use for that event and that event only, that we won't ever have to have again. And we'll be grinding for little shaders and ornaments for our armor that won't matter after that, but will look very pretty for those couple weeks or whatever it's going to be.
Super pretty.
Yeah, so that's our roadmap taking us up from June 4th to July 30th. And then August is just going to be a mystery. Something will happen in August. I'm sure Bungie will talk to us about next week at E3 and with the stream and the event they have upcoming to tell us all the good details.
Shh, don't tell the people about that yet. We haven't got to that bit.
Oh, the people already know.
That's a mystery. That's a secret. No, it's a secret.
No, we just got done saying the secrets are done. The secrets are over.
They have secrets.
This is the secret of loot. This is the season of loot. We've dispelled all the secrets. This is all loot all the time. So the loot you're going to get is more information from Bungie. The secret is no longer that there's a stream coming up. It's all loot, no secrets.
Oh, okay, so do you want to choose? Do you want to do the choose wisely bit?
Sure, we can choose wisely. So Callus would see you grow fat from strength. During Season of Opulence, he will be granting players the Chalice of Opulence, which serves as the player's gateway to treasure, because we are all about the treasure this season. The players who emerge victorious in the menagerie will use the chalice to serve up an offering of runes in exchange for weapons and gear they choose from the selection of items available. The treasure you find will be limited at first, but over time you'll be able to upgrade the chalice to acquire more plentiful and powerful rewards. So basically, this is going to work where June 4th, once the season drops, each player will claim their chalice at the start of the season through an introductory quest line. From there, it can be shared between different Guardians on the same account. So thank you, Bungie, for not making us run the same quest 3 times to get the same reward. I appreciate that. It's a huge quality of life change I am very happy about, as I have still not completed opening all the forges on my second and third character, because why?
Yeah.
So, how does the chalice work?
Oh, hey, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
You're
loud and
Okay,
clear.
good. Because my
You're in the car.
thing just went through all kinds of ridiculousness right now. It's bonkers. All right. So apparently, once I stepped in the elevator and I lost signal, once I got the signal back, Discord started. You know what? I don't even know. But it's been sorted. Okay, we're good. All right. Just checking.
Okay.
We fired those men. We now have different top men working on the issue. All right. So how does our chalice work?
Pray tell.
So Bungie's posted a picture of it in the TWAB. It looks, you've got a chalice. There's a red gem, a purple gem, and a green gem. And we've got some rune compatibility, some rune bonuses, and some power and efficiencies. We're going to need to earn runes to put into this chalice. And we're going to do that by a number of things. It's basically play the game to complete these things. The first thing you can do is just completing weekly bounties, which I assume is any weekly bounty in any activity. So go play the game. Opening up the weekly chests on the new Nessus barge. So we're going to have a Nessus barge, which people are speculating that's where the menagerie is going to take place, on this new barge on Nessus, because it's not there now. I'm sure someone's glitched into it somewhere, but we have a new Nessus barge. So open your weekly chests on the barge. That's where you're going to get some more runes. Opening a consumable that reward you a rune after a strike, crucible, or gambit completion. The same consumables will also give the other players in your fire team a chance to earn an additional rune. So similar to popping the Crucible or Vanguard tokens at the beginning of an event, it'll give you, tokens afterwards. You can do the same thing to get a rune and get your friends' runes at the beginning of strikes, Crucible, and Gambit matches, which is nice. So if you play a bunch of Gambit, you'll have another way to get these things that aren't just, strikes and Crucible. All right, so once you've earned these runes from basically, playing the game, you will slot the runes into your chalice before you enter the menagerie. So just like before you go into the Reckoning, got to put your little mote into the bank, put your runes into your chalice, go into the menagerie, play the menagerie to earn your reward. Completing the menagerie will reward you the gear you choose with the rune selections. And each rune affects what you receive and some of its properties depending on how you slot them. So again, we've got these 3 different colored runes. There's a rune compatibility, there's a rune bonus. So it's going to be a mix and match until we sort of figure out, what runes do you need to put into and what configuration to get different gear types, different weapon types, and how powerful those are going to be.
It's a puzzle game to pick your rune, to pick your weapons. Yay!
Exactly. So there's your mix and match. So you're going to have your MS Paint map that says, okay, you need 2 green runes and a blue rune in order to get your helmet. Now you need, a red rune, a green rune, and a purple rune to get your boots, or whatever it's going to be. Yeah, it's a puzzle game to get loot, like Respawn said.
And it's also upgradable.
It is.
So apparently they say you will have a host of new triumphs and bounties to complete that will reward you a new currency called Imperials. Using these Imperials, you can upgrade your chalice to acquire a variety of perks with a wide range of effects, from giving you more powerful rewards per week to allowing you to choose the specific gun and masterwork stat that you get from the menagerie. So it says you can earn these Imperials several ways, much like what Parody explained with your runes. You can complete weekly bounties. You can complete certain triumphs using special consumables that allow for Imperial acquisitions. Chalice upgrade allows you to earn Imperials through playlist activities. You can choose which upgrades you unlock first. You unlock additional rune slots to allow more control of an item's specialization. You can upgrade it so you can earn more runes or more rune variety. And you can upgrade it to allow for additional powerful rewards from the menagerie. So they give an example of how this is going to work.
Well, hold on. Just look. So I wanted to know, right? Because they say how it's upgradable. And we're assuming, let's say it starts off at blue gear, and then you can upgrade it to get legendary gear or whatever, right? So it's upgradable. When you upgrade it, do you lose access to the previous weapons, or does it stack? Like you can still get blues and
it seems like it stacks.
As an example.
Because they're basically, this is essentially like an end game activity. So I assume it's going to be, this is going to stack. And I don't think blues. I think we're going to start with purples. It's going to have it did say basically you'll have a list of things to choose from, sort of like the prismatic facet that they put in the game and then took out of the game, where you'll say, hey, here's our selection of weapons and gear this week. Here's the things you can, play the menagerie for. And then here's how you can configure your chalice to get these certain things. And I assume those will rotate in and out, just
So maybe it's not a rarity thing. Maybe it's like an access to different weapons thing. Like tier 1, you only get access to hand cannons and auto rifles. Tier 2, you get access to, rocket launchers and snipers or whatever. Maybe it's access to different weapon types. Because upgradable to me initially says blue to purple to exotic, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or better perks.
What if it's just upgradable? Yeah, okay, yeah, that too. What does upgradable translate to?
Week
Well,
one,
they haven't
week
quite-
one, you're
yeah,
going to have mediocre gear. Week 2, you'll have better gear. Yeah. I would love to see something where sort of like the Husk of the Pit quest and things, where you start out with an auto rifle or a hand cannon. It's decent. It does some, it does good damage, and sort of similar to Masterworking. Say, okay, I can do a tier 1 menagerie, get my tier 1 reward. Come back in a couple weeks, get my tier 2 and tier 3 menagerie, and instead of getting a different freaking gun or different armor piece, which I'm sure they're going to do like they do with Gambit, but give me the gun or the weapon or whatever that I can upgrade. I can say, I can unlock maybe additional perks or specific perks to that event, or give me an armor piece that'll give me something particular to the menagerie as I make that single piece of gear more powerful. But I'm sure it's just going to be different stuff that they give us, so we have more vault space to fill up.
And what about exotics, right? Because most of the time a raid has an associated exotic with that raid. So can we upgrade the chalice to specifically go after the exotic?
No,
or is it just going to be a chance?
If there are any exotics in there.
Because let's say, for example, we get an exotic auto rifle, pulse rifle, right? Auto rifle. Let's say we get an exotic auto rifle from the raid. Well, do you have to slot your chalice to get the best auto rifle possible? And it's actually a legendary auto rifle that you're slotting for, but you have the chance to get the exotic one, as an example?
Question mark?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something they haven't actually come out and said. But what I like is this game, or this chalice, is very similar to the Reckoning with the little triangle things that you had to upgrade your armor, didn't you? I can't remember what they're called now, but if you played
things, you're right.
Motes of Dark.
Yeah, those ones. The moats thing. the little moat bank thing that we had. So it's very similar to that you upgrade that by doing certain things, but you have to slot runes and you have to do the Imperials to upgrade it in different ways. So they've kind of learnt how the Reckoning went and what the feedback they got from that, where people didn't want to kind of just go from green to blue to purple. They wanted it just to be legendary stuff and then just be able to roll or re-roll legendary stuff through that, or get what you wanted to get from just doing the tier 3, rather than having to kind of, or actually more like the armor that you could get, where you had to go through the illicit, I can't remember.
Yeah.
The 3 different stages
illicit,
of armor.
Illicit, Outlaw, and Notorious, I think.
That was it. So rather than having to wait and get to the Notorious by going through all of them, you can go straight to the Notorious version on your chalice, but it's going to be a basic standard version of, say, a weapon or something. This is what I'm getting from it. It's going to be that bog standard version of that legendary weapon the first couple of weeks, and then over time when you upgrade it, you can then roll or re-roll for masterworked items with handling, reload speed, things like that for the different things. Are you guys getting the same kind of vibe from this, or?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm definitely getting the go play the game to earn trinkets to bring back into this game type. So sort of the same play loop we had with the Gambit Prime and the Reckoning.
Yeah.
Which I was going to ask you guys, what do you think about that? Because I appreciate that it's it's not like tied to a single activity. It's basically go play something in the game more or less, and you'll earn these things. I just wonder about that loop of that's the thing that I enjoy about the Forges, but it's sort of a long loop of pick up a frame, go do some other activity, get that thing upgraded, go back and forth to 8 to 16 times, and then you can actually complete this. So while I appreciate that it's go do anything in the game to earn these things, I almost wish we could just sort of jump into the menagerie and play the menagerie. Like you can just jump, once you've done the quest after June 4th, you can just jump into the raid and play the raid as many times as you want. So I don't know. I'm curious, cause especially since they've said, one of their big 3 things on the website was, replayability. This would be a big replayability event. I'm going, well, I hope so, because I would love to be able to replay this.
Well, the replayability is the playing circles like you were just describing. That's the replayability.
Yeah. It sounds like it is a mixture of what we got in the Forge, where you go and pick up a weapon frame, and then you have to do certain things, complete the Forge to get that weapon to drop, with a chance at random rolls for that. But whereas it was random rolls in the Forge, and combining that with the Reckoning, with upgrading your moat bank, you then upgrade your chalice. So it's a combination of both of those things leading into this last piece of DLC that we're getting. And they give an example of what they're explaining. So they say, if you want to earn a random roll of the beloved sniper rifle with handling as a masterwork trait, you would use a rune of jubilation, any red rune, and any purple rune. And they say this rune configuration is your freebie, and they're excited for the community to come together and uncover combinations for each menagerie reward. So it sounds like what we had similar with the Dawning that we had at Christmas, where you'd go and collect those different elements to then bake cookies in the oven, and then you'd be able to do different combinations to bake different cookies to then take them to the vendors to get different things from them. So this is very similar to that, where they want the community to work together to find out what combinations of runes and the Imperials and all these different things would then combine to make a weapon that you want, rather than having to randomly roll in a forge over and over again to see if you can get the best roll for that. You can actually craft the best roll. It's going to be really good.
See, we're missing a big detail here, right? Is they specified you can get the chance for that weapon, right? So the way you're describing it, to me, leads me to believe I put in a red, a green, a purple, I get the gun that I want. Boom! No. You do not.
No, you do.
Chance to get that specific gun.
You get the gun, but it says it's random rolls of the beloved sniper rifle, but the handling masterwork trait on that, if you wanted that sniper rifle with the handling masterwork, you'd have to use the rune of jubilation, any red rune, and any purple rune, and that would give you that sniper rifle with a masterwork trait, but the other perks on the weapon would be random. So you could roll with like snapshot, triple tap kind of thing, or you could get one with unflinching and also something. There'd be various different rolls. So it is still a random roll at some of the perks. We won't know what all the perks are until they all hit the database. But if you wanted a masterwork guaranteed, which is sometimes what you want. So sometimes you desperately want, a range masterwork on that weapon, and all you seem to be getting is stability, and you don't want stability, even though you've played that game mode over and over and over and again, and that gun doesn't drop for you with that masterwork. At least you can definitely say, I'm going to get that weapon, I'm going to get that masterwork, I can just keep trying this. With the rolls, it's a little bit more, a little bit more.
So what do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're just going to weigh the rolls differently now instead of weighing the weapons? Right? Okay, so you got the chalice, you get the weapon and the masterwork, but you have a higher percentage of getting, like you said, snapshot sights instead of rampage. So are they going to weigh the rolls differently now?
It's probably,
I don't know.
Because you got to have a way for people to keep coming back,
still going to be random. I mean, it's all going to be random rolled gear.
Yeah, but random to what extent?
Random in the same as it's always been.
Rolls going to be weighted differently. Well,
I mean, we don't know how they weight them now, so who knows? I mean, it's all random now. I don't think they've ever said, here's how we weight the rolls. It's all just, quote, random rolls. What randomization? How? I don't know, because it seems to be more or less truly random, because you can get two of the exact same guns with the exact same perk to drop at the exact same activity. So it really is just
right. And I get that, but what I'm saying is, if it is truly random rolled outside of this event, right? You can get any rolls on any gun. Inside this event, since you can pick your gun and you can pick your masterwork, they got to find a way to keep you coming back, right?
Yeah, but they do say that in the last bit of their statement. It says, we hope this gives you a better idea of how you'll earn weapons and armor during Season of Opulence. You will still have to grind to get that perfect roll, but we've given you the option to target the item that you want and to optimize it for masterwork. So they've given us two things that we can definitely get from doing these activities, but we're going to have to still play the activities over and over again for RNG, basically, if we want to get that perfect roll. So I think that's what's going to be the hook for some people, isn't it? Is a combination of all these other events that Destiny have or Bungie have led us into, with the Dawning, with the creating the cookies and doing the reckoning, with the moat bank upgrading and the forges by just crafting the weapon frames. It's all kind of leading us to this one point of, you guys know what you're doing in that situation, well, this is all combined, go for it, kind of thing.
Yeah, so I really like that it's it's still half RNG, but you give the player some control. Sort of like in the Black Armor, you could say, hey, I want the rifle, I want the hand cannon, I want the sniper. You can get the weapon you want. It may not have the role you want on it, but at least you can have some control over what you're dropping, what gear is dropping for you, especially, as we've all been there, you're trying to max out your light or you're trying to get to that next tier and you're saying, I just need a pair of boots. Game, just give me a pair of boots. All I need is a pair of boots. And they're like, here's a cape.
Or a helmet.
Here's a cape. Here's a Titan butt cape. Here's 6 more helmets. Here's 4 gauntlets. Like, you can never seem to get the thing you want. So it's nice that you can go in and say, all right, I need a helmet. I need arms. I can go in and get those. They may not be the role I want, but at least I can have the armor set.
So a quick story, just a real quick story, a little anecdote, if you will. So I just got access to Tier 3 of the Reckoning, and I was just powering through Tier 1 and Tier 2 just to get access to Tier 3, right? But I accidentally got the perfect armor set in Tier 2 without even trying to, right? So I got my 3 special ammo finders, my 2 heavy ammo finders with the guns that I use normally, just accidentally. And now they're all going to have to go away because now I'm working on Tier 3. So you're all like, you never get the one you want. Well, that's exactly what I want. It's just in the wrong tier. So now I got to try to get all that armor again in the correct tier. And now I'm not going to be able to get it because I've already got it in a different tier.
I'm sorry, you've used your RNG for that tier. Please come back next week for new RNG in a different tier, sir.
I didn't pick it. It shouldn't count. Give it back to me in Tier 3.
Yeah, which is why I would really love to see some sort of actual progression. Like they did with the ornament stuff, or let me power up the gear I have. Keep the perks on it. Let me make it more powerful.
Yes.
Instead of giving us, like they did with Gambit, giving us 3, or with Gambit Prime with 3 separate gear, separate complete types of gears. Like, give me the thing, let me upgrade it, or let me take it up and down, whatever. Let me make it, let me take it from 700 to 750, or, in, 700, 725, 750, depending what tier it is, something like that. I don't know why you'd want to drop your gear down, but I'm sure some people do for certain things, but, give me that option at least.
Like going AFK in a forge, maybe?
Possibly. So, shall we continue with pinnacle weapons and more?
And more.
And more.
And more.
Respawn, would you like to take this one, or are you nowhere near a computer?
No, I'm near a computer now. I just got back into America. Yeah. Drove right across that Canadian border. They couldn't keep me if they wanted to. Of course, they were kind of just pushing me out, but that's irrelevant.
Gotta up the bribe next time.
All right, here we go. I'm opening it. Things are opening. All right. Okay, so non-exotic fusion rifles. Where are we at? Pinnacle weapons and more. Okay, here we go. So, Pinnacle weapons and more. Last week, we promised we would share details on new Pinnacle weapons coming in Season of Opulence, as well as some other weapons we are buffing. Here's the Destiny dev team to give you one last preview before showtime. Vanguard Wendigo GL3 Arc Adaptive Grenade Launcher. Wendigo GL3's unique perk is Explosive Light. Picking up an orb of light increases the next grenade's blast radius and damage. Unlike most drum grenade launchers, Wendigo GL3 comes with blinding grenades as its magazine option for some added utility. Now, in that instance, whenever you have blinding grenades on a grenade launcher, if you noticed, your blast radius goes really far down. Did you guys notice that?
No.
Anytime we have
I don't use a grenade launcher.
No, I don't use the blinding ones. Even though I've got one, I don't use it.
Yeah, but if you look at it, go to your other option and then come back to the blinding one, your blast radius goes to near nothing, which is ridiculous. So I hope this magazine doesn't do the same behavior, because that's going to be irritating as hell. Anyway, moving on. You can carry up to 6 grenades enhanced by explosive light. That's pretty cool.
So that sounds like
Crucible.
That sounds like that perk's going to hang around. So as soon as you've picked up an orb, hopefully you're going to get like a good 10 seconds of time, or even it's going to be continuous, a bit like the Ace of Spades.
I think 10 seconds is
with the Memento Mori.
No.
Do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be 3 to 6 seconds, like Rampage.
Okay.
What I really want to know is, when you pick up the orb, is it one of your orbs, or does it have to be one of your friends' orbs?
I think
it just says orbs.
Any orb, yeah.
Yeah. So if you got a masterwork weapon and you just dropping orbs, just keep stepping over them to empower your grenade launcher. Or if your grenade launcher itself is masterworked. What? Is that a self-feeding gun?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's the Vanguard pinnacle weapon, it will come as a masterworked weapon. So if you get a double kill, you'll generate an orb that you can then pick up. Do you think it's going to be, if you generate an orb, you pick it up and you get a timer, and every time that you run over another orb, it will just refresh the timer or add more time onto that timer?
I hope that's what it would be. But I think there's just going to be a cap like Rampage.
Okay.
Is what I'm thinking.
But I can't generate 6
because
orbs
that
at
would
the same
be
time.
too overpowered.
Yeah.
I think that would be too overpowered. It would be fun. Like if it would just stay there like Memento Mori, once you've loaded it into the drum, it stays there till you fire it or stow it. That would be great. But to me, that just seems overpowered. I think they're gonna have to nerf that by giving it some kind of a timer.
Mm.
Yeah, that was one of those things.
But it's still
Again,
cool.
with the nerfing of the self-producing supers, even though you can still generate all those orbs, that was just one of the things that propped to my brain of, hey, here's a way that you can generate less orbs for yourself, so you have to get some other orbs to get this up to 6. Now, granted, you still can generate 6 orbs, but it's going to take you a bit longer. Anyway, that's just where my brain went.
Crucible I'm sorry, not a revolver. It's Revoker because I can read. Kinetic aggressive sniper rifle. Revoker's unique perk, Reversal of Fortune. Missing a shot returns the bullet to the magazine after a short duration. Even the greatest of snipers is not a perfect sharpshooter. Lies. And you miss every shot you don't take. Truth. Revoker was built for the mindset that you should always go for it, but keep in mind that Reversal of Fortune can only return a single bullet at a time. Along with its unique perk, the sniper has a custom low-zoom ambush SLH-25 scope and a snapshot for those close quarters battles. And if you guys don't know this ambush sight has been gone for a while. Like, when was the last time we saw this? Was
Destiny
it
1, yeah.
Did we even have it in D2?
Yeah, it was one of the
So that's coming back.
go-to sites, wasn't it, in Destiny 1?
Yeah. Ooh. And the cool thing about this, you got it written down even further. That's on the next page. Okay, so I'll just keep reading. Acquiring Revoker will not require reaching Fabled ranking competitive. I have mixed feelings about that, but we'll get back to that. Players will need to earn 3,500 total glory points. You do not lose progress when losing a match. Now, for me, I have mixed feelings, right? Like, finally, I'll get access to a weapon without having to devote myself too much to the Crucible. But at the same time, it is a pinnacle weapon, so I think they should have to reach the highest rank.
I disagree with you because it says it's a crucible.
I know, you always disagree with me.
It's a crucible pinnacle weapon. It's not a competitive pinnacle weapon. So
the other ones were crucible crucible.
Well, I mean,
pinnacle weapons.
this one sort of is. You just have to be less good because it's 3,500 glory points. So that's still a lot of competitive crucible if you're not winning a lot of games.
It doesn't have to be competitive though, does it?
Glory is comp.
You're
glory
right.
points you have to be competitive. So so you can lose every game. It's just going to take you much longer to get there. So I mean, you may be well on your way to the Luna's Howl and lose while doing this if you manage to get your total glory up high enough. I just like that it's just play the game, and honestly,
so it's just earn glory points. It's not obtain, like you have to be at 3,500.
Exactly.
No,
just
that
take
would be
into
impossible.
consideration if you've won a game and you've got 100 points, and then you've lost the next one, you lose 60 points, but it will still know on the.
You don't lose any points.
No, but it'll know on the tracker or the Triumph that tracks it that you've got 100 points for that win, but it won't take 60 points away for the loss that you've just had. It will just keep going up and up and up, kind of thing. Which is
now, do you get any points for a loss at all?
No,
none at all.
No, you lose points for loss. Now, in this it'll give you some. Or honestly, I probably see them at some point saying a couple months from now, hey, when you lose your match, you'll earn 10 points of glory towards this particular thing or something. But who knows?
I do think this is a good compromise in some ways of people saying, do a quest in quick play so that we can earn like the Lunas slower than what you can earn it faster in comp. I think this is a very good compromise. You still got to go and play comp. You're still going to have to win and lose matches. I mean, the good players are still going to get that gun really quickly, less than 35 matches. But I was just wondering...
Or the lucky ones that don't come across the wall of Titans.
Or I was just wondering, is it going to be you can play your 3 games in the week, win or lose, but you still get those points at the end of the week? Like you get 120 points for just playing in the comp list. Will that count towards your total? I wonder if it will, because that way you could easily slowly grind towards it without actually grinding it. You do your 3 a week. If you win one of those a week, that's 100 points. And because you've played 3 matches, you get 120 points. So that's 220 a week that you don't actually necessarily have to think about. Just saying.
Yeah.
Sorry, you just did a whole lot of math that you're making people think about, Mister. You don't have to think about.
No, but you don't have to think. Oh, I want that sniper. I'm going to have to go and play loads of competitive matches. You can just stick to the rule of playing the 3 competitive matches a week, and even if you just win one of those, you'll get the 100 points, or roughly around 100 points, and then you'll get the bonus for playing the 3 games at the weekly reset. So I was just wondering if that weekly reset pointage will count towards the progression. Just wondering.
How interesting. Gambit has a new pinnacle weapon as well.
I'm just happy it'll put more people into comp, because even if you're grinding for this weapon, it'll just up that player base, at least on console. Sorry, PC folks, it's still going to be the 6 of you.
Okay, so Gambit, Hush, Solar Precision Combat Bow. So for anybody who knows me or anybody that has played with me, you'll know that I am an advocate for bows. I love bows. I think they're really good. I think they're underused. And I think the people that complain about them complain because they don't know how to use them. Shout out to Nolis the Man, who recently told me that I have made him a believer, and now he mains a bow as a secondary. So good on you for finally learning what I've been trying to put out there. Shut up.
Suck up.
Shut up.
Nolis, you suck
Shut up.
Suck up.
No, because you two also know whenever you play with me, I'll use nothing but a bow when you two idiots are using your primaries and your heavies, and I still get more kills than you do. That should tell you something.
I've got more bullets.
Yes, you do have a nickname. You do have a nickname for that.
Doodah.
It's me being better than you? Yeah, that's the nickname. Anyway, Hush's unique perk is called Archer's Gambit. Hipfire precision hits grant a massive draw speed bonus for a short duration. This weapon is for those who would proclaim mastery with the combat bow. Yours truly. Archer's Gambit plays out significantly better than Archer's Tempo, but it's going to take a more skilled hand to get the most out of it, which actually isn't that hard. Unless the reticule is really huge, hip firing with a bow is still really easy. You still have pretty much the same size reticule. You don't have to sight in. I don't know why why they're saying it takes a skilled hand. The reticule on a hip fire bow is still better than like a hand cannon or a machine gun in some cases. Yeah. It's really good. So unless you're trying to cross map a thrall hip firing, then I don't see what the problem is. Okay. I moved the page. Okay. Non-exotic fusion rifles. Ooh, this is actually fun, right? Because I play with some non-exotics every now and again. So damage increased against PvE combatants. High impact damage has increased by 30%. This classification is for like the Wizened Rebuke and the Arantel. Precision damage has increased by 44%, things like the main ingredient. Adaptive fusion rifles have increased by 44%, like the Techian Force. And rapid fire increased by 47%, like the Critical SAS, as an example. That is a huge, huge bump. And especially if you have like the loaded question with the full magazine. Oh my God. Can you imagine? I mean, it was already doing like massive damage to like a big fat boy in the raid. As long as you had a rift or a Titan shield in front of you to reload that weapon, it was doing bonkers damage before this buff.
Yeah, I think that's a high
so
impact.
This is going to be nutty.
Isn't it? The loaded question.
Yeah, I think it is.
I'm just calling this the Frosty update. This is the update for Frosty and all of her fusion rifles. Frosty, grab your fusion rifles. They're going to be amazing.
You're half right. This is Frosty's update, but not because of the fusion rifles. This is Frosty's update because of the bonuses to the swords.
I mean, it just sounds like 2 for 2 right there. This might as well just be called the Frosty update. Stay frosty.
Well, that's why I said you're half right? So half the fusion rifle, half the swords. In case you guys don't know or haven't met, one of our clanmates, Frosty, she is an advocate for fusion rifles and swords, and she uses them even if it's probably the worst possibility to take into the event that you're going in. She'll use them because she doesn't care, right? That's what she likes. So with this update, not only are we going to probably see her online more, but probably participating in more activities. At least here's hoping. But yeah, this is definitely her update. They reached out to her and they're like, "Hey, Frosty, what would you like?" And she's like, "You know what, Bungie? I like fusion rifles and swords. What can you do for me?" They're like, "Boom! Enough said. I got your back, girl." So there it is. All right, so while some of the exotic fusion rifles, Telesto Jotun, or however you pronounce that, Merciless, did receive minor adjustments due to the inheriting from their legendary counterparts, they're not minor increases. I'm sorry, they are minor increases, under 5% each. This change was done to move legendary fusion rifles a little closer to the exotics, as the gap between them was quite large, at least in PvP. And I can agree with that, because in this case, they're not nerfing fusion rifles to be on par with, they're not nerfing exotics to be on par with legendaries, but they are bringing legendaries up, not to be on par with exotics, but to get them closer. I do like that. That's the kind of thing we needed to see this whole time. Not nerf here, nerf there, nerf spree, nerf party, nerf parade, nerf everywhere, right? No, this is the kind of thing that needed to happen. Buff other things to bring it up to a level, right? I dig that. Good job, Bungie. In this particular instance, I'm still about all the nerfs that you did, but we're moving on.
Yeah, we don't want to go into a respawn rants. There's no respawn rants planned for today.
Ha ha ha! Little did you know. So the Strum and Drang. I'm looking forward to this because I actually use the Strum and Drang from time to time. It's a fun pairing to use. But Storm and Stress max overcharge rounds increased to 99 rounds. That's nutty. That is crazy. Can you imagine pulling that bad boy out? You got 100 rounds of overcharge.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, how do you put that in the magazine? And also, I saw something. I don't see it right here inside the notes, but they were saying that there's a new kind of strum that you can acquire, and it's got jewels on it, like you get it from the chalice. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen that?
We did. We saw the pictures.
Okay. Is it that sidearm that gives it this 99 bonus, or is it any of the?
No, I think
the Strum and Drang combos.
Drang's got the. It looks like a Drang in the picture, and I'm just guessing that it's going to be an ornament.
It is a Drang.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that it's an ornament for Drang at the moment, and the same with the Mida mini tool that complements the Mida
multi-tool.
Yeah, the multi-tool.
Yeah.
They
said it's a new strum.
Ah.
That's the part that's catching me. They said a new strum. I'm sorry, a new Drang.
I haven't actually seen that.
Not a new ornament.
I've seen the picture,
yeah.
but I haven't actually seen anywhere that it says it's a new thing. So, hot take from Respawn.
I would try to track it down and send it to you. But yeah, that's what was catching me, because I don't know if the new Drang, quote unquote, is what gives you this 99 magazine size strum with overpowered rounds in it.
No, I don't know. This is just going to be for Sturm and Drang as a combined weapon usage, which we pointed out last week, I believe, with two tapping Guardians without the one-eyed mask. We said keep an eye out for this, and this is something that they're buffing.
Yeah, but you still have to get that kill with the Drang.
Yeah, but you have to get.
It's not impossible.
You have to get the kill with the one-eyed mask. You still have to get the kill with the.
Yeah, but you can get a kill with anything with the one-eyed mask. You can shoot a rocket launcher, and it activates the perk. This you have to use the Drang.
You have to use your skill.
You have to use a sidearm, buddy. That's the thing.
Either or.
You know, so it's coming up. Yes, I can see that they're getting closer, but I mean, it's still not really a comparison. The Titan just has to kill somebody, whether it's his one-shot melee, of which he has multiple options to pick from, rocket launchers, fusion rifles, kill anybody with anything, and it'll activate the one-eyed mask. With this particular combo, you have to use...
If you're going to start ranting about the mask again, you're going to be faded out.
I'm not. I'm just saying that there's a big difference. It's
carry on the reading.
You made a direct comparison, and there's not a direct comparison.
Carry on the reading.
Oh. Okay, so overcharge buff text now displays the number of overcharge rounds. Overcharge damage increased by 100% in PvP. For those that don't know math, that's double damage. Next is swords. Ammo capacity increased to a max of 70. Starting ammo increased by 10. The Black Talon, ground and aerial projectile ammo cost increased from 3 to 4 to compensate for the surge of more ammo in your reserves. The Adaptive Frame, ground uppercut ammo cost increased from 3 to 4 for the same reason. Aggressive Frame, now lunge at target. It says that. That's not me. It says...
But you have to love Bungie and the way they write these twabs.
No, lunge at target with their aerial light attack. Oh, no, okay. So if you read the whole thing, it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Aggressive frames now lunge at target with it.
Yeah. Okay, light attack consolidated into a single damage event. Slam attack consolidated into a single damage event. What does that mean? You can only damage one target as opposed to multiples? What does that mean? A single damage event.
You can tell we really use swords here. What does this mean?
I do use swords, but I only use the forge one for like boss killing when I'm surrounded by ads.
Then we don't take any notice. This sword has a pointy end and it goes in there.
Your stabbing will now be slightly different stabbing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where's Frosty?
In the immortal words,
on the podcast.
In the immortal words of Red versus Blue, swoosh, swoosh, stab. That's how you use a sword, right?
Precisely. You got it. So they're changing the swords in some way. It's going to do something different. Sword people, figure it out.
Power attacks cost more ammo, but you have more ammo to pull from, so that makes sense. Whatever. Lightweight frame, damage tuning. Ground light attack increased by 17%. Ooh. Aerial light attack decreased by 21%. Ow. Ground dash attack increased by 87%. Ooh. Aerial dash attack increased by 78%. No ammo aerial light attack decreased by 49%. Ooh. All other no ammo attacks decreased by 15%.
I think this is to stop people using them as when you don't have the sword ammo, just help meleeing people and killing them.
Yeah, but still, 15% doesn't matter because when you have the forged sword with surrounded and you got those two perks, it still does hella damage.
Don't tell them that. They'll nerf that next.
Okay, never mind. That's not a thing, Bungie. I'm sorry. I don't have any idea what I'm talking about. And ground dash attack ammo cost increased from 2 to 3. So, see, if they're, I understand increasing the heavy attack damage, but if they're increasing, look, even right here, ground dash attack ammo. I mean, they're increasing the ammo cost for everything. So them giving us more ammo for swords just kind of puts us in the same place that we were. Now the damage increases are nice, but as far as the ammo economy, it kind of seems like it's just going to even out, doesn't it?
I don't know.
So what the hell was the point of giving us more ammo?
I don't keep a track of my swords and sword armor. I only very rarely use them, so it may be slightly better, and the increase of the ammo is just kind of mitigating some of the offset for increasing some of the bits. So
all right, well, swords are getting some adjustments to increase ammo capacity, but also increase the cost of heavy attacks, and apparently a freaking ground dash attack that you forgot to mention. Stupid Bungie, stupid face. Anyway, but also increase the cost of heavy attacks proportionally to encourage mixing in light attacks to get the most out of them instead of just repeatedly using heavy attacks. Also, much like how Drain will show up in a new form right there, it's right here in your notes, douche. Drain will show up in a new form for the Season of Opulence. The lightweight and aggressive swords are getting the same treatment.
That means nothing.
It could mean a lot.
It just means an ornament.
It could mean a lot. A new form. Not necessarily. It could mean that, yes. But it could also mean there's a new version of Drain.
Could be. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Stupid face.
But yeah.
Okay.
Your face stupid.
Your stupid face. All right, Raiders of the Lost Vault. That seems cool, but I've read enough. Somebody else's turn.
Okay. Raiders of the Lost Vault. Cue the music of Lost Stuff. Last week.
Indiana Jones.
No, you can't.
I believe is the word you're looking for.
Can't say that.
Hey, we've got vaults, we've got gems. That's clearly where Bungie is going with it.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford is going to voice our ghost this season. That's actually what they're not telling us.
I would pay for that.
Harrison Ford bot.
A grumpy bot that just comes out and goes, "What do you want, kid?" And that's it. He doesn't speak to you for the rest of the game.
You've woken the hive. It's your problem now. I'll be over here in the corner. Have fun with that.
So Bungie say last week we put out an update on the upcoming World's First race starting on June 4th. You can also check out our official World's First rules. There's rules, guys. There's rules. You can't just go into it and play the game. There are rules. At the end of the race, 6 players will earn themselves a championship belt. And here is a work in progress preview of what it's going to look like. And in the TWAB, they show you a lovely purple and gold belt. Anyway, are you an avid raider but don't think you can finish first? There are still some other exciting rewards available for those brave enough to tackle the raid soon after its launch. If you are able to defeat the final encounter in the first 24 hours, you will receive the Heavy is the Crown emblem. Ooh, and it's pretty. They also say Don't think you have what it takes to finish it in the first day? Well, you still have time to commemorate your achievement if you can best the Crown of Sorrows raid before the weekly reset on the 6th of... No, that's not the 6th of the 11th. That's the 11th of the 6th, which is the 11th of June.
June. It's all June. Not June 4th. June 11th. Similar to June 4th, but a little later.
In England, 6-11 would be the 6th of November.
But this is June. We
established Bungie time.
We talked about the calendar earlier. This is June 11th. This is New Menagerie Boss and Truth Quest Day. June 11th. Okay. We haven't gotten to November yet. That's a whole new season yet.
So if you do something by June 11th, you do that and it'll unlock the ability to purchase this exclusive Bungie reward jacket, which looks kind of nice. It's, if you open up inside of it, it's got a gold chalice that folds. Looks quite nice. Go and check it out on the This Week at Bungie. Even if you don't enjoy raiding, we will have some more cool stuff for you on the Bungie store starting on the 4th of June. And they show a couple of t-shirts with chalices and callus stuff. Yeah, exciting. Excited. Would you like to take us through the patch notes preview parody? That could be your section of the show. Patch note previews with parody.
Coming
and
to
have some dramatic music.
Even more alliterations. I'm going to need theme music. I think we all need theme music for all of these parts. It would just be more fun that way.
You can have that little jingle that I put on to your news update thing the other day.
So you mean the last
podcast you didn't listen to? It's okay.
Had like a special jingle. I did. I got an hour and a half into it. Eat it. Shut up.
When you're done,
it is an hour and a half long. So you completed it then.
No, well, I don't know. I don't remember hearing any news jingles though.
You mean you've listened to an hour and a half of the 3-hour one? Yeah, that's not the last one. Then
the one after that,
the previous one,
the one that was like
you've been on a podcast in between that
one. I mean, yeah, I know exactly what jingle you're talking about.
He's had to travel this week.
Give me about 90 minutes. I'll be right back.
He's been in 2 countries. He's been through at least 3 or 4 time zones. He's very confused.
Parody's patch note preview.
Next week, the Season of Opulence will go live. Now, I think that's going to be on June 4th. I'm not positive, but I believe June 4th is when the Season of Opulence will go live at Tuesday Reset. Now, with the Season of Opulence, we're getting update 2.5.0. And with this update, we're going to have some lovely fixes. We're going to fix an issue with the heroic... we're going to fix an issue about Parody, Night Demon, and Respawn being unable to read text in front of their faces. No, wait. No, we're going to fix that every week.
That's always fixed in post. That's never going to be fixed in real life.
That's in Bungie. That's in Bungie's 12. We got to fix these casters because they're messing everything up.
All right, we fixed an issue where the heroic version of 0 Hour would only be available on the first character to complete the activity on each account. The luxurious toast emote will now allow players to sit for as long as they desire. Players can no longer win Crucible matches by getting kills after the timer has expired. Fixed an issue where the action for applying shaders, ornaments, holograms, or using consumables was getting cancelled and not applying on the first attempt.
Thank God.
Lies.
Thank God.
Lies.
That was my first thought too.
Guaranteed that's not been fixed.
We're going to see.
Because how many times have they said they fixed that already? This is at least the second or third time.
As they fix the Iron Ruby shader. But hey, maybe it'll work this time. Maybe we'll be able to read. You never know. Okay, there are still actions that will cancel the apply function, such as hitting the preview button, exiting inventory early, or letting up on the apply button too early, or by completely moving the cursor off the item being applied. So they're saying, if it's not fixed, it's your fault, player. Apply things better. It's fine. Players with multiple Radiant Matrix materials in their inventory will now have them removed when returning to 801 on the appropriate weapon frame quest step. If players have the Radiant Matrix materials sitting in the Postmaster, they'll need to pull them out before speaking with 801. So, hey, we're going to have pursuits. We're going to have hot pursuits in 2.5.0 in the Season of Opulence. They're going to change the way that our pursuits tabs look. So the pursuit menu will be moved from your inventory to the director now. With this update, you'll be able to switch between pursuits and the director overview in one move. with the objectives displayed in the new tab. It should be easier than ever for you to plan your gameplay session, knock out some bounties, and more efficiently. We've also added some filters to give you a quest-only or bounty-only view, so you can separate time-limited pursuits from long-term pursuits. We also increased pursuits inventory from 50 to 63 to give you even more room to hoard bounties. So really what they're saying is they can take that pursuit that says, go complete a Prestige Leviathan raid, or, go do this exotic quest on your 9th character, and you can hide them and never look at them again. They'll sit there gathering dust on your 2nd and 3rd characters because you're never going to run the escalation protocol and find 15 nodes to get another sleeper stimulant. It's never going to happen.
You're going to get how many Reddit posts going, my pursuits tab's disappeared. Where's it gone?
My pursuits are gone. It's gone.
Where have they all
It's
gone?
terrible. No more pursuits. You are now an unemployed guardian. You must roam the wastelands like a hunter, looking for work. There's going to be a bounty board. You're going to have to go there.
Hunters!
We just put all the hunters out of work. That's all we've done.
What I love is the fact that they've managed to increase it from 50 to 63, random number 63. Why haven't they managed to do that for what other stuff you have to carry?
Vault
Well, because
space?
if you notice,
Do you mean vault
because you can
space?
look at right here. You can look at it right here inside the menu. How you have the 3 at the top. Maybe they have 60 total, and then 3 that you're actively tracking.
Yeah, but
Like at the top. And
what I'm saying is they're doing that by giving you more space, but they're taking it out of your tab selection. So, but I've got like all these other things in my inventory that I need to collect. Like my enhancement cores. They're not giving me more room for that. I want to collect more ghosts. I want to collect more Gambit.
I want to collect
stuff.
any enhancement cores. I mean, 1, 2.
Play the game and you'll get some.
Play the game, get your cores.
I do, but I am in like a permanent enhancement core desert because as soon as I get them, I
Play the
use them,
game better.
right? Like some of our other guys, like G-Dad's bragging, oh, I'm already down to 109. Oh, what am I gonna do? It's like I will rob you if I could, buddy. Please believe, And it's just I can't get them. I mean, like I'm always in a deficit because I always have good weapons with good.
And while
rolls
we're talking
that I
about
use
Space
people.
Bungie, all this lovely new content, lovely new weapons, lovely new armor with specific roles on that we have to go into specific encounters for. Where's my vault
More
space?
vault space?
Where's my vault?
Right?
Coming in.
Let us earn vault space, Bungie.
Coming in.
Even if you'd have given me
251,
50
252.
50 spaces would have been lovely. Not even 50.
Nope. You are undeserving.
I am.
Think of the children.
So, should we go?
No, don't mention children.
No, don't mention-
They'll come running back
They
in.
will.
But yeah, but Nadine, you're totally right.
Downstairs somewhere.
I really hope they do one of their big message pop-ups to be like, your pursuits have moved. Because yeah, you're gonna have 50 Reddit posts going, my pursuits are gone. That game is glitched. I deleted it all and had to reinstall the whole thing. It's like, no, you didn't read. Which again, they should put like things like this in the game, and I hope they do something like that. Or saying, hey guys, it's here. But the nice thing in the screenshot they have, see the nice little list of things down the left-hand side to tell you what's going on and which weekly things you have active. I hope that comes back because I sort of missed that. I like to be able to pop up my director and going, hit that left trigger going, okay, what do I need to do still this week? Without having to go through my 63 bounties and quests to figure out what I'm trying to get done. So I sort of wish that would come back because I liked that. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
So,
at your service.
at your service.
Awkward moments.
I'm at your service. The player support team
Whoa.
is also at your service, and they'll be on hand during next week's launch. If things get weird,
Sorry.
oh, I'm sure.
I thought you were telling a joke.
Yeah. If things get weird, they want you to tell them if things get weird on the hashtag help forums. And I do believe that people will not stick to the forums. They will tweet, they will call, they will be hounding Bungie down at their doors if something goes wrong with this launch. So, yeah. Right. We've got about 5 more pages to go through. Maybe not.
Oh my God, what? Oh my God, he's right. Oh my God.
Read faster.
Update
Read faster.
2.5.0.1 next Tuesday, June 4th. The 2.5.0.1 update will be released to players in Destiny 2. This update marks the beginning of Seasons of Opulence and is required in order to access Destiny 2 once it has been deployed. Listed below is the release times for this update.
Didn't they already say this multiple times?
Yes.
You have to download. You have to download. You have to download. All right, we're not reading this again.
No.
If you haven't downloaded or you won't download at the time, you don't deserve to play the game. Move on.
Guys, help me out with the times here. Okay, so Tuesday, June 4th, 7 a.m. Pacific is what time Eastern?
It's 10 a.m. Eastern.
Eastern, yep, 3-hour difference, buddy.
So that would make it 3 a.m. in England, and it would probably make it, I'm going to guess, about, no, not 3 a.m., 3 p.m. in UK.
I was going to say, you're not in Australia. You may wish you were, but you're not there yet.
I'm going to guess that it's about 2 a.m. Australia.
It's Wednesday. It'll be Wednesday in Australia. So
I'm sorry, I didn't work these times out beforehand.
If you're listening,
Bungie should do it.
If you're listening to our podcast from Australia,
how many of these podcasts have we had, and you still haven't figured this out yet? This isn't like one of those things that you just keep forgetting to do. You just don't want to do it. And to be fair,
I did it last time.
Andy, it's Wednesday. Whenever we say Tuesday the 4th, just mentally replace that with Wednesday the 5th, because we're in the past. Yeah. You're living in the future. We can't be responsible for what happens in the future. For us, it's the 4th.
And yet he still won't give me the lottery number.
Bungie.
What a douchebag.
If you are listening to this podcast, please, in all your notes, don't just keep putting down Pacific Standard Time. Please put down either Eastern Time, Greenwich Mean Time, Australian Time.
Because they're in Pacific Standard Time. That's what matters to them.
Yeah, but that's not fair to every other Destiny player.
I'm
not asking.
That is Bungie Standard Time.
If you haven't figured out your own time zone by now, what are you? I don't even know. Have you been to school? Do you know what a clock is? Can you count a time zone?
But I'm saying
he's sitting at 0. He's sitting at time zone 0, so he doesn't have to know about any other times. He is the one true time zone. It's the rest of us that are in the wrong time zones.
I'm saying if they give us like 3 time zones so that everybody else can work out their time zones roughly from around that. Just make it a little bit easier, please. So,
well, you figured out yours by knowing ours. And we know ours by knowing PDT.
That's what I'm saying.
Problem solved.
So, Destiny 2 maintenance will begin at 7 a.m. Pacific. 8 a.m. Destiny 2 and companion features will be taken offline completely. Destiny 2 update 2.5.0.1 will begin rolling out across all platforms and regions. 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is
later. It's later for you.
No, what time is it for you?
1 o'clock.
1 p.m.
So
add 3 hours, dude. Come on.
1 p.m.
So that'd be
Eastern, 6 p.m.
in
time.
the UK.
And still later on Wednesday, maybe even Thursday in Australia.
It's next week in Australia. They've already got the update. We're catching up. Yeah.
They're back playing Trials already. I don't know what you guys are talking about. They're on Destiny 4 over there.
Oh, by the way, not just that, but they also have your Destiny sandbox. What did you call it? I keep forgetting what you call it. The thing that you always want to never get.
Is it Crucible Labs?
That one. They've already got that.
Yeah, Crucible Labs came out. Andy was like, yeah, I've had Crucible Labs for 6 weeks now. I don't know what you guys are waiting.
So, maintenance will conclude Destiny 2 and the companion features will be back online. And that's probably going to be a lie. The companion features always take another half an hour to an hour to come back up online.
Yep.
So,
and even then, they're still buggy.
Yeah, there's going to be a few bugs. Let's face it. There's going to be bugs. Please just report it to the #help forums. Don't go on Twitter.
This is Bungie. Bungie is an acronym, and I don't know what the whole acronym means, but I do know the B means bugs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't go on Twitter and just verbally abuse any of the designers or creators. Go and put it in the
That's what they're there for.
No, because it's not. No, that's not what they're there for.
Sure it is.
Just go and tell them constructively on the #help forums what the issue is.
Constructively yelling at them.
No.
I've worked in customer support for over a decade. The people who get yelled at, their tickets go to the bottom of the queue or get lost. We will help them eventually. The angry people,
maybe they won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, when D3 comes out.
Yeah. I'll be like, hey, remember the thing you emailed about? 6 weeks later, we might think about replying to you, but we're not going to.
Yeah.
So
I wonder how many people complain about vault space, though. Like in reality, not just us, right? But in reality, this can't be something new to Bungie. No. We're not the only 3 people complaining about vault space. I know we're not. So why is this a consistent thing that Bungie's
goes? I'm not complaining. It's just you two.
Again, I don't understand this complaint people have about this inventory Hey, I still have like 6 ships in my inventory from last go round.
You're going to be muted in a minute.
Because somewhere my team was
Right?
like, go buy a bunch of Zavala's ships and put them in your inventory because you can break them down for things. I still have like 8 of them in here, and so much extra room still on top of that. I'm only at 426 items of 500, and that's after finding some blues that I had stuck in there at some point. I don't know how they got there.
Well, that's about what I'm at, but that's because I just recently did a vault.
I mean, I've got
I went
a
in,
chicken mask in
got
here.
rid of all duplicate
Tiny box
armor.
of
When I
raisins.
was
weapons.
discussing the Vault stuff, you guys didn't want to chirp in. Now we've gone past the Vault stuff. You guys want to have a discussion about it.
No one cares about vault stuff.
Well, no, we didn't go past it because you're talking about like Bungie help forms. It's a part of that topic, right? So why is that consistently being ignored for how many years?
Where
We've had one vault upgrade.
Where can I take
don't
my
work
expired
for Bungie.
ramen coupon and get my expired ramen? That's all I want to know. I've got the coupon. I
right?
want to bring it somewhere. Where can I take it?
But no, I think with every update, they should give us extra vault space in addition to extra light level. You can manage it to where all of our characters go up 50 light. You can give us 50 more slots in the vault. You know? It's not that difficult from a programming perspective. There's no reason why we've had to wait so many years to get this done. So many seasons.
I just don't think they want to. They don't want you to have. They don't want you to have loot. They're more shooter and less looter these days.
This is a looter
Not
shooter.
anymore. Not anymore. Season of Opulence. It's all about gems. You're gonna have beautiful gems to collect. You're gonna put.
You gotta have inventory space for the gems.
That's the thing. We're not actually getting any new armor in this update at all. We're just gonna get gems to put on our current armor. Some go into the chalice, some go into the armor. You're going to have a tiny bottle of glue to go with your tiny box of raisins.
Bedazzlers!
You're going to then have to bedazzle all of your armor.
We got a bedazzle
Exactly.
gun.
The exotic glitter shotgun is going to be amazing. Let me tell you. You just fire and just
Actually,
glitter goes everywhere.
that does sound amazing.
Doesn't it?
That does sound amazing. Honestly, if we had a glitter shotgun or a bedazzler gun, I would 100% use it. If it did 1 damage, I would 100% use it.
No.
See,
So, moving on.
So what you're saying is
Continuing.
the hard light's not going to shoot a different color of gem depending which option you have on it.
No, it's not.
You can't bounce gems off walls.
No.
The whisper of the word is going to shoot diamonds.
To the 2.5.0.1 update and ignoring what you guys are saying.
Stiff upper lip.
They have a few, have a few tips.
We don't have elements anymore. We just have different colored gems, right? So solar is rubies.
Normally long time to receive this update. You should try manually.
What would void be? What's a purple gem?
It's grape. It's obviously grape. Have you not heard me?
It's a grape gem.
Have you not heard me running around screaming, "I'm going to cover you in grape" every time I fire?
We're talking about a gem. What gem would grape be?
Purple.
Okay, moving on.
Players on consoles who are taking abnormally long times to receive this update should try updating manually. And they've given a couple of links to follow instructions for the PlayStation and the Xbox.
Go to Seattle, get your 57 floppy disks, bring them home, feed them into your Xbox one by one, and that's how you'll get your update.
They also say players who still do not see this update may wish to try power cycling their console hardware. To do this, and they give you a handy guide, players should completely power down the console, ensure that the device is not in rest mode, unplug the console from its power source, wait 5 minutes, get a cup of tea, get a biscuit, dunk it in your tea, eat the biscuit, come back, plug it in, and try again. And if that doesn't work, you can go on the hashtag help forums and voice your concerns that you're not getting the download.
Right, I hear what you're saying. But what if...
Are you concerned about the dunking of the biscuit?
Consoles...
The thing is, you have to be quite quick, because if you dunk it
I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
It will drop it in the cup of tea.
What if
you have to be careful?
What if you don't have any biscuits?
What if your consoles...
Well, I'm telling you now, get the biscuits in now and get the tea in now, ready and waiting for June 4th.
Right, cool. But what if your console is taking an abnormally long time to download? What do we do?
You turn it off.
Okay.
You unplug it.
Right.
You go and put the kettle on.
Okay, yeah.
Make a cup of tea.
Biscuits. Okay, yeah.
Tea and the biscuits.
Uh-huh.
So the console's completely off at this point. There's no power going to it at all.
Right, yeah, I gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
And I do believe for extra added security or peace of mind, you can hold down the power button to cycle out any extra little bits of woo that you've got in there.
Okay, fair enough.
And hold that down for 5 seconds.
Uh-huh.
And then, after you finished off your cup of tea and your biscuits,
Right.
How many biscuits do you recommend? Is this like a 1 biscuit job, or do you need like 2 or 3 biscuits? What's the optimal number of biscuits?
I'd get a whole pack because you may be there for some time and there may be some frustration. So it may be 2 cycles or just 1 cycle.
I hear what you're saying. I follow you 100%. But my question is this. What if your console is taking an unusually long amount of time to download this update? What do you do?
You call your internet service provider, I believe, and you say, "Why is my internet so slow?" Or
that's fair.
you kick the rest of the children off in the house and unplug every other Xbox in the house so they don't get access.
And you have to take the power cords. Is they'll just plug it right back in?
Yeah.
No, see, you're making this harder than it needs to be. You log into your router, you go down the Wi-Fi list, and you boot every device off that's not yours if you're on Wi-Fi. And if you're plugged in, then you just turn off the Wi-Fi of the router. Download is finished.
Okay, but what if
it's yours? Problem solved.
If you've hacked into the router's neighbor and you're using his? Then what?
Well, if your router has a neighbor, you should use the router that's not the router's neighbor.
Yeah. You mean your neighbor's router?
That's what I said. What did I?
No, you said it the other one.
Did I really?
Around.
Oh,
you said
I'll leave it in the podcast so you can hear it.
You said router's neighbor.
I did say router's neighbor.
If you have neighboring set up on your router, turn that off first. You don't need 2. Just 1 router is sufficient.
I mean, that's what I meant. Yeah, if your router's neighbor.
1 pack of biscuits, 1 router. That's all you need.
He said 2 packs.
Well, he said 1 pack, and at least 1 full cup of tea. Although, like you said, brew a whole kettle. You're going to need probably more than 1 cup.
Oh, actually, there's an important detail. 2 important details, in fact. Number 1, what kind of tea and what brand of biscuits? Because it matters, because biscuits have different levels of solubility, right? So what kind of biscuits have the best solubility to taste ratio?
It's entirely up to you. I would probably go with an Earl Grey and probably a digestive biscuit. Okay. Or maybe something with a bit of chocolate on it. A chocolate digestive. So you get a little bit of melted chocolate in there. I'm quite sad now because I've just finished reading while you guys were talking tea what the last bit of that maintenance update cycle stuff is. Guess what? Destiny 1's going to be down for back-end maintenance. Well, what's that about? I wanted to play Destiny 1 while Destiny 2 was updating.
No, you didn't. Shut up.
Was down yesterday for back-end maintenance.
Oh, no. Anyway,
we're fixing things.
So apparently during the same window, they're going to be conducting back-end maintenance for Destiny 1. And for live updates during this deployment window, players should follow @Bungie Help on Twitter or monitor our support feed at help.bungie.net.
But really just look at the Twitter because it's the easiest place to get your information.
But don't
quicker.
rant on Twitter.
You can't rant on Twitter. That's the whole point of the character limit. Crazy face.
You could probably find a way.
You can
just making multiple posts one after another. I love me.
Which one do you want to take? Do you want to take Crown of Sorrow, Rage Worst, that one? The next bit?
I think I should do Living in Infamy, just because the name is relatable.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Crown of Sorrow, Raid World's First, blah, blah, blah. So, last week at Bungie, we promised we'd share more information about how players can make sure they're at the starting line for the Crown of Sorrow raid at 4 p.m. PST, at 4 p.m. PDT on Tuesday, June 4th. So, 4 p.m. in Pacific time is 7 p.m. Eastern time, and is midnight in the UK, and is sometime on Wednesday for the Aussies. And if you're on Mars,
9 a.m.
If you're on Mars, then, well, it's going to be even later for you, but you're Cabal, we don't care about you. So here's what you need to know. As called out last week, players must complete the day one quest for Season of Opulence. In order to access,
so that you can access
the Crown of Sorrow raid,
the new raid,
once it unlocks at
4
4 p.m. Pacific.
Or 7 p.m. Eastern.
Or
midnight in the UK.
And 9 a.m. in Sydney,
Now,
Australia.
in Sydney, Australia, it's not June 4th. Don't be confused, everybody who's not in Australia. It's still June 4th for you. If you're in the future, it'll be June 5th. But for everybody else, it's June 4th.
June 4th.
So once you've completed your day one quest.
Day one quest.
And what's the quest called?
Doesn't matter.
It's the day one quest for the Season of Opulence in order to access the Crown of Sorrow raid once it unlocks at 4 p.m. Pacific.
Or 7 Eastern.
In the next sentence, what does it say?
It says, in game, this quest will be granted to players as an Imperial Summons and will conclude as the invitation. So we're going to pick up a summons, and then we're getting our invitation, which seems wrong. But hey, we get our summons, we go see a guy, he invites us to something. Presumably we RSVP, we add our +1 or +3 to it. As we complete the quest, we will be awarded rare gear that will bring them up to 690 power. So if you're not 700, this will put you really close to 700. So we'd also like to remind the world's first contenders, the players who's joined in progress during the Crown of Sorrow raid. First encounter will spawn in dead outside the encounter space. To mitigate this issue, all Fire team members must join up in orbit prior to launching the Crown of Sorrow raid activity. So bring your team with you when the guy inevitably has to leave and deal with his kids or his dogs, or he ran out of pot or whatever.
Or his wife is chasing him with a machete.
Exactly. You're going to need to bring your whole team, just like a fancy restaurant. They will not seat your entire party until your entire party's there. Bring your entire party, meet up in orbit, then go into the raid. And now we go right to Respawn for Living in Infamy, as he is an expert in all things infamy.
Woohoo! Wait, what? So, Living in Infamy, there's a really big section here, which basically means don't hang on to your gambit bounties. That's it.
From Season of Drifter?
No, that's it. No, just don't do it.
Okay.
Right? Because if you hang on to them from this season, you take them to the next season, the gear you get is going to be maxed out at 700. And as a negative, it's going to limit you from leveling up in your gambit rank up, gambit rank. Right? So don't do it. Use them now. There's no point to keeping them. And actually, you're hurting yourself if you keep them because you won't be able to level up as fast if you just got rid of them now as opposed to getting new ones when it starts the new season.
And don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, right. And that's it. That's all this big section had to say. So, news and information.
You've missed out a whole bit.
Because I didn't.
This
That's
is
what
the
whole
reveal.
thing says.
This is the reveal that he wouldn't let me talk about. Tune in for the reveal of the next chapter of Destiny 2. Now, people, don't get confused. This is the reveal for the next chapter of Destiny 2. This is going to be Thursday, June 6th.
That has nothing to do with Living in Infamy. That's a completely different thing. It should have its own topic.
Once we've lived in infamy, we're going to tune in for the reveal of the next chapter of Destiny 2, Thursday, June 6th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UK time, and again, sometime Friday, June 7th for the Aussies, 9 a.m. or so, whatever it is. Sorry, there's only so many time zones I can hold in my head.
I believe it would be 3 a.m. for Sydney time.
So I don't think they'll be tuning in, but that's why we have Twitch and recorded things for.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to see, I definitely feel like we were teased this week and they gave us some information, but again, we're going to see the future. We're going to see what people are going to come back for, what they're not going to come back for on Thursday after the release. Either once people have gotten through the raid, or we're still all going around going, all right, who's gonna finish this raid first? Anyone? Bueller?
I'm gonna try. It starts on Tuesday. I'm off Tuesday, so I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
at least for a little bit.
But you're not off Wednesday. We've gone through this.
I'm gonna need that co-stream information. I'm gonna need to be able to scream at your teammates in the raid. I need this in my life.
You could potentially be one of the teammates I can be yelling at. I
could potentially be, though I'm not off Tuesday, so maybe after work on Tuesday. But unfortunately, some of us have to work and make money somehow.
What are you talking about?
They can't just go fly around.
The first part of this podcast was you listening to what I do for a living. Well, kind of.
And we said operators are standing by, and then you muted us. We had no more operators, ruining the joke. Way to go!
That's because the 911 call came in, and you're not allowed to hear that kind of stuff. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So should we move on to news and information for the week? which is a little bit of a roundup of news from the Twitters, the Reddits, and the forums.
What?
So we have Cosmo.
Cosmo.
Cosmo says on.
Woo!
Cosmo says.
Six tips on how to make your man want you more. Wait, no, sorry, wrong Cosmo.
10 best ways to
Cosmo
keep a man.
says,
4 best
If you use
keys
the
to drink with your
program-
crisps.
Best lipstick to wear on a first date.
I'm not going to read this. I'm going to sit in the corner and sulk.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
One of you two can
this
take
is
this.
what I felt like when he kept dinging me. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, well, I can just shut up, can't I?
Yeah, you can shut up.
I was thinking about that while we were playing Gambit the other day with you and Andy, and
Oh my
we started
god, when it
imagining-
drifted,
and the
I'm
dude was just
traumatized
ding,
now.
ding, ding,
I'm
and I was
actually
just like,
traumatized now. I
Hear
hate
your
it when he
respawn.
does that. I hate that noise now.
It didn't help. The respawn kept getting killed, and the Titan had to keep picking up his dead body on the battlefield because he would trip over a rock or see a shiny stone and they get shot in the face. It was really tragic.
Wow, it's really funny that hunter that kept getting killed also had the most kills, the most motes dropped, the most boss damage, and the most guardian kills. Wow,
Yeah,
it's almost like I was the only one doing anything on the freaking team.
Yeah, I know you dropped the most motes. That's what I was saying.
Right, we finished now. Can I continue?
Sure.
You can.
Can we continue?
Bring in the children.
Right.
Cosmo
How to
says,
keep a man if you've got kids?
if using programs such as Xpadder for accessibility purposes will get you banned, as long as you're not seeking an unnatural advantage over your opponents or trying to circumvent idle detection,
What
you
the
will be
hell
fine.
is that?
I don't know. Something obviously on PC. So there's a Reddit post for that if you want to look at that or contribute to that. He also says over on Twitter that I want to say merengue, but I keep every time it was written down, I was like, the merengue. No, it's not the merengue. The menagerie.
No, it's meringue. It's pie. It's delicious.
Yeah.
We're going to all jump into a big pie. It's a vault full of pie. It's going to be amazing. We're going to love it.
The meringue. The meringue
if
is
you've ever
launchable
done
from the
meringue,
director.
Everything around him is covered in grape jam, so you're not too far off.
Anyway, the menagerie is launched from the director. Also, they have plans for Crucible later this year. They did say that, I think, in the
Did they
last
now?
week's TWAB.
I'm not sure if they
I
did.
believe
They did.
They did.
About the
I
same.
don't
in the
think so.
Twitter. We talked
It's about
about
the
it
same
last
time
week.
they talked about trials. They said we're going to have a discussion about Crucible. We're going to bring it back. We're going to make it better. We're going to make Crucible
Again, they've had to
amazing.
reiterate this on Twitter
Mhm.
to somebody's question, I guess. So they hope to share more information with us in the summer regarding Crucible changes. The bright engrams will be the best of year one items. So
Oh, no.
all of the new items will be available for direct purchase for silver or bright dust. And we don't know as yet how much bright dust's comparable to silver it's going to be. That was a Twitter post. And then DMG also has responded over on Reddit on the Skull of Kara and how it will play out in Seasons of Opulence. So he says, from experiences in playtests, you'll need to rely on teammates making orbs a bit more than having an all-in-one super steamroll machine.
I'm very sad about that. It was wonderful just to throw 4 Nova Bombs in a row. So
Yeah.
goodbye,
You
Skull
do have a
Diorama.
couple more days, as of recording this, we have a couple more days to play around with what we love now before we say goodbye. But then we also get to say hello to a couple of returning Destiny 1 exotics. And I'm sure that Respawn would love to chime in on some of these, especially the first one that we're going to be talking about, which is the Kepri Sting. The exotic hunter gauntlets are returning. Seen in the, I believe it was the trailer they were seen in for Season of Opulence.
Right.
And the exotic perk for the gauntlets was Touch of Venom. So in Destiny 1, you could gain invisibility after crouching in place for a short time, and it was
3
roughly
seconds.
3 seconds.
Yep.
And melee attacking an enemy from behind while invisible delivers a 4 times damage. So you could literally one-shot melee a guardian from behind in the Crucible. You'd love that. There you go. See, you got a bit of your OP-ness here.
I saw Destiny Fun Police put a link up to him like one-shotting I think it was a Hammer Titan in Crucible with that.
Yeah.
Did he?
Melee attacks also apply a lingering damage effect. It's very similar to Thorn. You'll see the damage tick. And you could basically wear these on any subclass. So any subclass that we've got going now, if this is still going to be the case in Destiny 2, can you just imagine those invisible golden gunners running around? Oh, I'm just going to crouch for a couple of seconds, pop my super. There we go. Actually, I think it's the other way around. You'll have to pop your super first, then crouch, because if you pop your super afterwards, it takes you out of your invisibility.
Well, they'll probably be doing more void, though, because one of the void subclasses increases the amount you can stay invisible. So there's that.
Yeah. And I believe that was the same with the Blade Dancer on Destiny 1. You could pick certain elements of your super. You could tune it to make your super last, or make the Khepri sting last longer and be invisible longer. So this is going to be a really interesting one to be playing with.
Yep.
If it does return in the same state that it was for Destiny 1. And I will link the original Destiny Khepri Sting Gauntlet review by Planet Destiny.
I think I lied. I think in Destiny 2, it's an exotic that increases the amount of time you can stay invisible.
Yeah.
I think I did get confused with D1 there for a second.
No, but yeah, I know what you mean, Destiny 1.
Yeah.
Also, as detailed in the roadmap by Parody earlier, Truth Exotic Rocket Launcher is returning. And the perks with this made the weapon really powerful. They had the prototype Truth Seeker, so rounds fired from this weapon seek their targets aggressively. And it also had the grenades and horseshoes, so rockets from this weapon would detonate early based on proximity to target. And it was a void damage weapon. And I'm going to link 2 videos with this. There's the Mr. Fruit 60-second review from Destiny 1 on the rocket launcher. And Cheese Forever put out a video the other day basically going, this is why we're excited about the truth. And he'd gone back to Destiny 1 and he was in Old Russia at one of the patrol points. And he was on one side of the map and found a shank on the other side of the map. Showed you the tracking on this shank, then flicked the rocket launcher straight up like 90 degrees in the air, fired the rocket, and then you saw this rocket just go flying up in the air, curve in midair, and fall straight down on this shank that was miles away in the background. And yeah, that's what Truth did. It was really aggressive for its tracking. So I'll link those 2 videos. Also, there is the Astrocyte verse for the Warlock, and this is an exotic Warlock helmet that you had in Destiny 1. And with that, you had a perk of Move to Survive, which temporarily increased your recovery on Blink. So there was a trick to this. You couldn't literally be damaged and then blink. You had to kind of wait a couple of seconds for your recovery to kick in to go to the red portion. And then if you blinked, your recovery would exponentially increase really fast to like full health really quickly. So I think the one thing that you'd want from this exotic is if you were to be damaged and then you blinked, that recovery would kick in straight away, very similar to how the One-Eyed Mask works and things like that. So I'm hoping that they would change this slightly. It may turn the Warlock's blink into an OP move, but
Oh, you want to talk about OP? Hold on a second.
You were saying you were saying this.
Next exotic right here.
Respawn's going to be delighted.
Hang on a second. Before we go into the next exotic, we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, weren't we? We were saying that it'd be nice for all the classes to have this quick recovery or protection on that's what you were saying. You said, know, there's one for the Hunter, there's one for the Titan, there isn't one for the Warlock. So this is the one for the Warlock now. That's cool. But you do have to use it on the Void Walker, and you have to have Blink on. Yeah. Although if they do change it, it might be something that you could use Blink on a Sunsinger. I don't know until we actually get it in our hands
on the exotic itself.
Yeah, maybe it's tied into that.
So speaking of OP, right? For those few characters out there that can survive a Titan one shot, your days are numbered.
Not anymore.
Yup. Well, once again, proving my theory, nay, the fact that everybody in Bungie development plays a freaking Titan. Continue, Demon.
Okay, so I will link the Planet Destiny original Destiny, the original Destiny 1 Astrotype Verse Exotic Helmet review, if anybody wants to go and look at that.
Yeah, nobody cares. Talk about the next exotic. Go ahead, go, do it.
The next exotic, I will link a Professor Broman
Mhm.
Destiny 1 video on the
yeah.
Peregrine Greaves, the exotic boots.
Here it is.
So-
Here, tell them what it does.
So these boots they did have kind of 2 perks in Destiny 1.
Mhm.
And they are listed as Peregrine Strike, and I believe this is the exotic perk on the boots. So shoulder charge deals bonus damage when activated in air.
Oh,
So all you
goodness. So the one
So
shot
what you
move just got even stronger.
It
So those of you that
did.
have 10 armor or more and barely survive a Titan one shot, yeah, not anymore.
Death from above.
Yeah. They had a second perk where if you got an arc double down or double kill, it increased the agility for 5 seconds after the double kill. So that paired with the Peregrine Strike was pretty good at one-shotting getaway kind of thing, because you could hit somebody if they were close to somebody else, and the arc effect would kill or damage the next person, and then you'd be able to one-punch them as well, so you'd be able to get a double kill, and then you'd be able to run away afterwards. Really good fun. And you don't have any more to say on that, do you, Respawn?
I do. I do. How can you guys not say that this is overpowered? I know you're Titan mains, right? But be objective for just a second. How can you not see that there is a gross imbalance in the 3 classes in this game?
You're just playing the wrong class. That's all. But no, you're
No.
not wrong. I mean, the Titans they're making tankier and bringing some of these things back.
But no, this is absolutely ridiculous. Titans just keep getting more and more stuff to make them even deadlier, which is the exact opposite of their name. If you're going to make Titans one shot, take away all their extra health and armor. You've made them too powerful, Bungie. You got to have a
keep
balance.
the 6 fronts safe for all the hunters that are cowering in the city. You know, they need the protection of the Titans to keep the 6 fronts safe.
No, listen, I understand you want to make a joke out of this, but this is serious. There are 3 classes in the game, 2 of which are unplayable in the Crucible with all these Titans running around one-shotting people.
No, that's all a fallacy.
It's not a fallacy.
Our friend the Booker Man says to tell you otherwise.
Your friend the Booker Man obviously is a Titan main.
And I believe he plays something else. I'm not telling you.
Yeah, whatever.
He's not a Titan.
Yeah. The point is
50.
despite the opinion of one person, everybody out here can decide for yourselves. But you, at some point in time, you have to admit that Titans are severely
You and the other
overpowered.
people that you've managed to coerce, no less, we know it's you he's coerced. Just so you don't agree with him when you're in a party. Just tell him that he's wrong.
No, I didn't. First of all, they brought it up, not me. Second of all,
They're just making conversation with you.
Even if
They
it is
just
making
wanted to get you on the
conversation,
rad.
This is a fact, dude. You can't have a tank that can also one-shot, because that is the role of the hunter. It's supposedly DPS and damage. That's been taken away. We hardly do
When
any
you say
damage
tank
anymore.
to me, it means that something that's got a lot of armor and it has one shot and it kills you with the one shot.
Okay,
That's a tank.
then why have the other 2 subclasses then? What's their point? Because Hunter was supposed to be all the damage, Titan was supposed to be all the defense, and the Warlock was supposed to be somewhere in the middle.
Hunter can bounce around the map and avoid the Titans. They can jump over the top of the Titans quicker than the Titan can look up.
That damn melee
quicker
that
than
you
the
do
Titan
tracks.
No.
The hell
You can
it
jump
doesn't.
over me.
The hell it
jump over
doesn't.
me,
Yeah, and you can
Punch
jump up.
me, shotgun me. You can slide shotgun me quicker than I can look,
No,
see
I
where
tried
you are.
that. I've tried that. Most of the
You're
times
obviously
that I
not a
hit
good
with a
hunter then.
shotgun, they have a
Obviously
sliver
not a
of
good
health,
hunter
and
then.
they
You
still...
need to go back to hunter school, my friend.
Dude,
You are the worst hunter in the world.
The
Listen,
the hunters I've run into in the Crucible are far better than the Titans I've run into in the Crucible.
Yeah.
it's not a matter of how good I am, because I still kill the Titans if I see them first. The problem is, if they turn a corner, I've got no defense against it. They can one-shot me. There's no engagement there. There's no back and forth. There's just the Titan one-shot. You're making jokes out of
I
something
think we need one of those
pretty serious.
musical breaks. Hit it.
The imbalance is too great. Oh my God! I have one option when you have 4 one-shot options, and now you have to make one of those one-shots even more potent than the It's all there is to it. They need to have their But in PvP, they should not be able to one-shot. everything.
So shall we move on? We still love you, Respawn. We still play with you, and we wouldn't hurt you.
Lies.
Know that,
To
don't you?
all of
Don't
those
you-
things.
Don't tell him those lies.
So, going along with these new weapons and armor and returning exotic, Cool Guy has done a good video where he goes over the returning exotics and points out interesting combinations with the new weapons and perks, like pairing Kepri Sting with a shotgun with the 1-2 punch. Might be some interesting combinations there. He also covers some of the new weapons, which look to be reskins of old Destiny 1 weapons that we loved, like Perrin's Fire, which was a fusion rifle from Destiny 1, the LDR 5001 sniper rifle, Party Crasher / Matador 64 lookalike, and the IS Luna style handgun that's been bejeweled, and then what looks like to be ornaments for Drang and the Mida Mini tool. But as we discussed earlier, from what Respawn was pointing out, that they could be possibly reworked versions of those guns. So I will link Cool Guy's video for Season of Opulence gear breakdown. Last little bit. We're on the home stretch now, guys. You don't have to listen to us for much longer, but we have a few more tips and tricks videos. I don't know if you guys saw this in the last couple of weeks, and I forgot to put it in last week's podcast, but Cheese Forever pointed out, I think it was pointed out to him, that there was, in Season 6, exotic ghost shells that can drop and roll with double perks. Like, for example, you can get 2 speed demon perks on 1 ghost shell. And if you've had a Season 6 exotic ghost to drop, you can re-pull it out of your collections, and then you can fiddle around with the Bungie app and change the perks on the ghost. Have you guys seen this at all?
No, but have they confirmed if the perks actually stack or not?
They stack, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
been confirmed.
Yeah.
I've done it. They do stack. So if you have a Sparrow that already summons quickly, and then you have 2 speed demons, it's blindingly fast. You get your Sparrow back. It's great for the what did we call it? Just the Sparrow race with encouragement, with extreme
Yeah.
encouragement. Yeah, it's really great for that.
I think the idea is if you get one of the Season 6 exotic ghost shells to drop, and there's only like 3 of them that this works on. If you get a perk, say Speed Demon as one of the perks, and the other perk is an elemental
Attunement.
Yeah, an elemental attunement, you can then go into the Bungie app. As long as you're not online on the computer, you go into the Bungie app, you can actually go into your inventory and swap that perk over for another Speed Demon perk. So you could literally have 2 Speed Demons on that 1 ghost.
Mm-hmm.
So you can play about with it, but I will link the video for Cheese Forever. He explains it a little bit more in detail and better than I am. Also, we have Sweaticles has a video out which he gives a few last-minute tips and tricks for the world's first race for Crown of Sorrow. And he goes over mods and armor to look out for. So very much like we pointed out last week with the Callus gear from Year 1, where you can get specific perks or mods to slot in on, say, the arms to do more damage if you melee and things like that. He goes over it in a bit more detail of what to look out for in resist mods as well, because with resist mods that you can get from Reckoning, you can then put that into other gear, and that will help you. You can do more damage against bosses, and you can also put these on some of the weapons as well, I believe. So he's got 2 videos. He's got the Day 1 raid tips video, and he's got an easy resist mod farming video, which we will link in the show notes. Then Fallout and Cakes have both put out very similar videos, and I will link both of those in the show notes, of going over their best and favourite weapons and loadouts to use for PvP going forward in Season of Opulence. Now, Fallout Plays has done his video in response to Cakes, because Cakes did his first, but where he's mainly based on PC, he's done a lot of the weapons and loadouts mainly for PC players. And Fallout has taken the view of his video, he's going to do it for the console players. So whether you play on console, you've got Cammy Cakes. If you play on, if you play on PC, you've got Cammy Cakes. And if you play out on console, you've got the Fallout video. Really interesting video for not what you'd think of some of the weapons anyway that he'd pick and some of the loadouts for subclasses, but worth a watch anyway. Also, with the hint of the fusion rifles becoming buffed in Season of Opulence, we thought we'd highlight a video from Unknown, and he's made an Erentil God Roll guide and how to use fusion rifles effectively in PvP. It goes over basic tips that a lot of people do know, but if you not 100%, or you've come into Destiny late and you haven't seen any other kind of videos on how to use the fusion rifles effectively and their ranges and the perks for the Erentil, then this is a good video for you guys to watch. And then finally, the weapon focus for this week. Deicide has got a God Roll Duke 44 hand cannon video that we think you should check out. And he goes over what rolls you should be looking for in creating a God Roll. And although it's a low fire rate, I think it's a 110, these ones may come to fruition in the Season of Opulence. You've got the Probina D, I believe it is, and the Criminal's Dagger, which are also in the same archetype. So you don't necessarily have to stick to the Duke, I believe. But because the Duke drops a lot more frequently, it may be something that you could get Rampage and Kill Clip and things on. And he goes over the roles that you should be looking out for in his video. And I think that's it, guys. That was a really speedy end to the show.
Yeah, we've covered the content. We've beaten horses to death.
If you want to call it that, yeah.
Respawn would like to talk for 45 more minutes about the Titans and the Crucible. We will do a special Titan and Crucible Respawn rant. That'll be like 4 hours long. Because while he's not wrong, he has lots to say on the topic. Lots and lots and lots.
And we are recording this podcast early.
Mm.
The TWABs only come out like a couple of hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it was only a quick one for us to go through. But we thought we'd try and get it out earlier in the week for people to listen to before Season of Opulence goes live on 4th of June.
Or the 5th of June in Australia.
Or the 5th of June in Australia. Just so that you can listen to our lovely sultry voices. Oh no, actually, while Destiny's down, you can listen to it.
Yeah, well, Destiny's down. Listen to this while you're going through your troubleshooting steps. You're drinking your tea. You're eating your biscuits while you're waiting for your download to happen, because everyone's going to download at the same time, and we're all going to be sitting around waiting, going, okay, waiting for the bits to hit the consoles.
Every bit counts. Ha! You see what I did there? You see what I did there? Ha ha ha!
Have you got a really good outro to us for this week, Parody?
I'm not sure if it's really good. I'm not sure if it's any good. I'm not sure about anything anymore, but thank you for joining us. Your Titans this week have been Parody and Night Demon. We've been one-shotting hunters in the Crucible. Your hunter is no one responds in real life, who just wishes to have a little more armor or the ability to run a little bit faster. You can email the show and tell us all about your hunter thoughts at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. You can hit us up on Twitter at twotitans_hunter, which really, that's where the hunters should be, under the Titans. We're also on Facebook. We're also on YouTube. You can join the Frozen Clan at join.frozen.party. That's Frozen with a 0. If you enjoy sandwiches, if you enjoy raiding, if you enjoy having things explained to you in luscious British voices, come join the clan. You can find your favorite Guardians on Xbox Live. You can watch the show on YouTube, listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and everywhere fine podcasts are sold. I leave you dancing the dance of my people from dusk till dawn. Say goodbye, Purples.
Deuces.
Goodbye.
That was unexpected. I was wondering what's the long pause.
Love it.
Right.
My name's Respawn and I'm a hunter. I can't beat the Titans in PvP. Wah, wah, wah.